Hi, Freddie here. Just a little disclaimer beforehand saying this was by no means perfect. A few little issues along the way. I've had a cough recently, so you can hear me spluttering through this, and Chris had bad food poisoning earlier today, so we were definitely not going to record tonight, but found for our timetables that we definitely had to. My internet also decided that it would play up, so the call was messed around a bit with some awkward silences, so if you hear that, that'll definitely be that. And Chris's Skype call dropped at one point, and we had to invite him back in, but my recording software went with it, so this phone call's done in sort of two parts. We are new, and we're just doing this for fun, so don't go too harsh, but any constructive criticism would be more than welcome. Without further ado, enjoy, if you can.
Cazorla, in it goes, Giroud's up, it's missed by Neuer, and it's in! Olivier Giroud has forced Arsenal in front. He does it again off the bench. What an important goal from the Frenchman. It could have saved Arsenal in the UEFA Champions.
Hello and welcome to the maiden episode of an AFC Pödcast. We've just been greeted to one of the worst displays I think any of us have seen in Champions League football, but there's quite a lot to fall back on, so I'm not too sure about that statement. Joined with Chris at Central Ramsey and Scott at I'm Pereziv, but spelt with an L, and I'm Freddie. Just call me Freddie.
Sure.
First of all, we'll start with the score. We all did predictions before the game. Chris, let's start with yours.
Yeah. I prefer not to
I don't
speak.
want to. Yeah, same. I prefer not to speak.
Okay.
Positive over here. Saying 1-0 win to us.
Okay, so 1-0 win for us. Scott, what was yours?
So
Yeah.
What was that?
What did I say? I think I said a 2-1 loss.
2-1 loss. Respectable
Yeah.
going in for the away leg. I said a 3-2 loss. I thought it would be high scoring, which it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to be that
Unfortunately.
one-sided. I'm just... Scott, I don't know, me and Chris were just talking about the stats of this game. I'm on the Who Scored page, and it is disastrous. It's disastrous reading. We have two players below... We have... four players below a 6. Our top scoring points just hit 7. Somehow Coquelin was one of the higher rated players. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's start with the lineups. Did anyone think that was the smartest lineup we could have put out there tonight?
At the start of the game, I thought, it will be keep possession, Coquelin. Well, I'll glaze over that. The thing is, that game we kind of needed some sort of outlet. I think. To stick to the byline and pass to other players rather than make, an incisive pass forward. And I don't know, at the start I thought, it's good, it's conservative, but probably a little bit too conservative.
I didn't expect it, but I really felt that game was calling out for Welbeck. I don't really think Iwobi offered what that game needed. Iwobi is quite good because he's quite a strong guy at holding up ball and giving more possession on the wings. But when we weren't going to win the possession battle, there's just no need for him. And I just really don't think he offered anything. It was on minute, I think it was 22. His first contribution was just a foul. And I forgot Iwobi was on the pitch. It was quite remarkable how invisible he was for that game. And it was telling he was Bayern Koscielny was the first substitute off the field, and I really rate him and I like him as a guy, but that was not the game for him.
Yeah.
First goal. Are we all going to blame Coquelin for that?
Yep.
Yeah, I would.
When you're playing a man who has only one foot, and that one foot being wonderful, you have to stay tight on him so he doesn't get 4 touches to set himself up for the one shot that he takes every single game. I just found that absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, like Coquelin is meant to, stop the one guy with the one most predictable, deadly move in football, and he just completely fails. He goes the opposite way, thinking that he would try and dribble past 4 defenders instead of.
Yeah, doing the one thing.
It was just a mess. Like,
it was a total mess.
Ozil was cutting off the passing lane, by the way. There's people who are saying, it was his fault. It wasn't. He was cutting off the easy pass to Alonso, who would have destroyed us with one pass.
Ozil. People are blaming Ozil for the first goal.
Yeah.
What?
To be honest, I didn't even notice Ozil in that move, so that's probably a good thing. I usually notice all the bad performers in a goal scoring.
He's so invisible. Haha. Joke. No, I thought Ozil. Actually, I think. Let me just check.
Well, at any moment in the game and tweet it, you'll get retweets.
Yeah. It's the most bait bang you could ever see. Coquelin, he attempted 2 tackles, made 0. He attempted 1 aerial battle, lost 0. 1-0. And his pass success was 71%. Oh, God. It's not good.
Yeah.
Do you think... Because what was strange to me is when all those goals started coming in, it was 3 minutes off the field with Koscielny. He went off minute 50, and then Lewandowski scored 2-1, and then 3 minutes after Thiago scored. But I actually think Gabby did okay. I didn't really see that we were missing Koscielny, but then when he went off, we conceded so many goals. I didn't really understand that.
Great when Koscielny's not on the pitch.
It was more what Koscielny was doing. Like, Gabriel was doing good, but Koscielny was just another level. He was aggressively intercepting all runs. He was stopping passes. When he went off, Gabriel just kind of went conservative, and Mustafi went aggressive, and it just failed.
Yeah, we had a very split back two there. Do you think it's a problem that you signed someone, I think it was 32 million, to play at centre back? Go on.
I like Mustafi. His ball playing is phenomenal. It's probably he's one of the better passers of the team. His problem is that he's young, and you could argue that he's lacking coaching right now and possibly confidence. He was the defender we were kind of crying out for at the start of the season. Someone who's aggressive, someone who's a leader at times, and someone who can play the ball. But I think he's just low in confidence, probably about 90% of our squad right now. The only player who I would say has got confidence is Ox. Not saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, Scott, what are your views on Mustafi? He's sort of... I mean, I really rate him because at the start of the season, he actually did seem to be everything we're missing from a back line. But then he got injured, and he's sort of been come in for a lot of criticism on his return. His never losing streak has ended quite spectacularly over the last 2 weeks. But what's your views on Mustafi?
I like Mustafi as well. I think the problems we had with Mertesacker obviously are gone with Mustafi because he clearly has pace. Yeah, and as Chris said, he can pass as well. Set up a few goals, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, can't Alexis.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I think, obviously I'd say he was kind of thrown back into it after his injury. Probably because we needed him, but, I don't know. Like, nobody's playing well for us at the moment. I don't really want to pick on him.
No, I don't want to pick on him, but the only problem for me is it seems like of all our centre-backs, the only partnership that works has to be with Koscielny. And
Yeah.
Holding did a phenomenal job for 2 games with Koscielny. He did a bad job with... he did a good job with Koscielny for 2 games, the Leicester and the Watford. He did a bad job with Chambers, but we can understand that why. And we haven't seen much of Holding other than that. But, I mean, Gabby doesn't seem to work with anyone supremely. But Mustafi doesn't really either. And I thought Mustafi, because he's sort of quite a clever player, we've talked about his vision and his passing ability. But without Koscielny there, he really, really seems to lack the confidence and the quality that we saw in the first 10 games of the season with him.
Yeah, I really like Holding, and he's naturally the opposite to what a young Koscielny was at his age. Like, Koscielny at his age was acting like some sort of flying into tackles, intercepting people like they were nothing. Then when he got older, he kind of relaxed a bit. Holding is just naturally relaxed. He's always conservative with his tackles, and he would rather pass quite gently, if that's the right word, where Mustafi's quite aggressive with his passing.
Always looks at verticals, yeah.
Yeah. He's a very clever centre-back, whereas Mustafi's quite aggression-based, which both have their uses at times. I'm not saying Holding's better at all. Mustafi's a phenomenal centre-back in his own right, and he's done very well against strikers. It's just the fact that Mustafi's style is, in some ways, good for top teams, but also bad for top teams. Holding will be a world-class centre-back one day. It's just finding the right time to play him.
What I'm surprised about, and it does show one of the things that really frustrates me most about...
World Cup experience.
One of the things that irritates me most about Wenger is his loyalty. And I feel like it is right that we prioritise Holding over Gabriel. And it always seems like the person on the team sheet or the person who steps in for one of the other two is Gabriel, and I really don't think he's deserved that this season.
He had like 1 or 2 good games at right back, and I thought maybe it might be a good new position for him. But now I don't think he can even play there.
No, when he plays there, you can see other players frustrated that there's no overlap. And
yeah,
Gabriel, man. I remember sitting, as I always do in North Bank, on his debut against Everton, and his debut summed up. Okay, so Chris has just dropped. Oh, Chris is back. Okay, you right?
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
That's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his debut against Everton, and he had he let the ball bounce in front of him with Lukaku and Morales charging at him, and Ospina had to come out and bail him.
Oh yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, he made one of the best tackles I've seen at the Emirates on Lukaku, and I was like, oh great, perfect. Okay, we've got a centre back who can defend.
Gabriel,
yeah.
But
yeah,
as my dad always said, says, and he's kind of right in this situation, that if you get a Brazilian that really can't play football, there's a few problems. And his on the ball methods, it's just awful to watch.
yeah. That's putting it nicely as well.
Yeah. Did any of you think for Lewandowski's goal any essence of a climb on Mustafi?
Yeah, there was. I think
Well,
so.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I don't want to bring up the Alonso versus Bellerin debates. I'm actually quite sick of them now.
No, I don't think it was a foul, though. I think.
Yeah, I think he had the momentum over Mustafi. That's pretty much it.
So
Good striker
just
play, really.
jumped, and then there's just no hope for the centre back.
Yeah, Mustafi timed it all wrong. He should have went up a lot earlier than he actually did. That's my opinion on it, anyways.
Good striker play, really.
Yeah. Lewandowski. I think he's just totally phenomenal.
Yeah, he is definitely top 3 strikers in the world right now. You could even argue number 1, but it is very clouded. This season, so far, probably Suarez and Higuain, but that's just me.
Higuain did that thing. We had a slow start, and now I think he scored 9 in 7, like recently, and he's doing that thing again where he's always going to hit 22 goals.
I just realised that I will have to stop pronouncing names. This should go well.
Will you let's talk about the substitutions. Did any of you think that substitute was coming for Theo Walcott?
I didn't see the point of Walcott.
I didn't.
Walcott's an outlet only, so he'll only run to the ball. Welbeck would have been more aggressive. He would have pressed and got the ball, and he could have actually done some passes and created some chances. It's no wonder that Alexis has had his best form, possibly with Welbeck last season. Like his vein of goals last year with Welbeck was brilliant, as well as the year before that. I just didn't see the point of Walcott playing yesterday, whenever you're watching this.
It's kind of bringing back to the Iwobi point as well, because Welbeck should have started, in my opinion.
Welbeck just should have started. I don't think any of us put Welbeck in our starting lineup, but I really think that was a game just destined for Danny. With the space that Lahm and Robin took in our half and the right wing, that chaos factor that he brings with his strength and his unpredictable runs, and even sometimes absolutely shit touches that he can sometimes control. Like, he's just a lot harder to defend than Iwobi and Theo. And I mean, what is it trying to bait his 100th goal? Because I was quite angry with that substitution, to be honest.
I kind of go with it now, but yeah.
Is that something you guys believe in? The
same time,
is that something you guys believe in? The predetermined substitutions that Wenger, some would blame him, like, oh, it's 66 no matter what the score, Theo will come on, 71 Giroud. Do you believe in that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
No.
So do you think that was just a bad substitution then?
Wenger's a reactionary manager, so he's a manager who will only react to things. He's not proactive. Bring on Theo, he probably thought, well, Bayern's centre-backs are really slow, like Martinez and Hummels aren't the quickest, so he probably thought, we could stretch them. It was just a bad call, bad error.
Yeah.
Theo's probably the quickest in our team, so that's just my interpretation of it.
Yeah, but like Walcott kind of relies on other players around him to play well and play it to him, whereas Welbeck doesn't really. Obviously, it helped, but like Welbeck will work for him.
Yeah, he'll bring the game to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think with Theo, his chances a lot more. Like when Perez is back, as well as Welbeck getting some minutes, Theo will find it hard. So if he puts in more performances like today, I'm not sure what to say about him.
Can you see Wenger dropping him though?
That's the £1 million question.
Yeah.
Wenger does think he is crucial to our style, but at the same time, devil's advocate here, what style?
Exactly. Yeah.
It does say a lot about Theo that we persisted with Giroud up front through Theo's suspicious injury, and then the same match week that he comes back, we see Alexis back up front. It did seem to work early on in the season. It was devastating teams, so I don't really blame him at all for that, and I sort of respect him for having the courage to sort of drop Giroud when Giroud was in such good form, because he thought the team would prosper with Alexis up front. So I don't really mind that. But if we were to do that, who replaces Theo? If you're to drop Theo and keep Alexis up front, Lucas?
Yeah, Perez.
For me, it's obvious, but there's another thing that where is Lucas? It's true he can even fly to Munich, right?
Yeah.
He apparently had a hamstring injury. That's all
He's
I've
missed
seen.
a few
True,
Champions
it's
League
fair
games through a
enough.
hamstring injury, though. I'm sort of worried about him.
Suspicious. Not to start any conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I'm sort of worried about him, Scott.
I'm worried about him more than anyone.
I'm a Ramsey fanboy. You guys worrying about Perez having a little hamstring niggle is just normal news to me.
Fair enough. You getting any questions?
Yeah, should we do a couple of questions?
Mm.
I got quite a few. Let me just... I got loads from someone.
Shout out.
Well, I had a few joke ones from my friends early on, but it's Declan.
Oh god.
Okay. First one saying, so at Zinedine Zalem, if Wenger stays, what does he need to do in order to win trophies? What are we missing so far? Because for me, it's a trophy-winning squad.
It's the squad. It's just the way we prepare for matches in general.
So do you think?
How we look at the competition.
But so do you think Wenger can change that with what he's been doing for? I mean, maybe not the first 10, but the last 10 years of his tenure.
That's the thing. I don't know.
In my opinion, I think the only thing he needs to change is this reliance on individual quality rather than, going for a system as well as trusting the wrong players. Trusting players who are just not cut out yet, and playing players like El Neni a lot more, who would have been a lot better today.
I wasn't too surprised to see Coquelin, because again the trust is there. But man, I thought El Nene would have covered a lot more ground, just done a lot more, often more than Coquelin does. I always think he does.
Yeah.
I think it's getting to the point. It's getting to the point now where players are just not relying on Coquelin to pass anymore. So they're kind of bypassing him to Xhaka, and I saw that quite a lot. I think El Neni would have offered a safer option to pass to.
That basically means we're playing with 9 men on the attack, though, if we're counting one goalkeeper.
Yeah, which is a problem that Arsenal has at the minute.
Yeah, so we're all agreed Coquelin never play again? Bin. Right. Okay, we pick another one.
Pretty much.
Short term, who replaces Koscielny? I personally want Holding. It'll definitely be Gabriel.
Yeah, Holding for me.
Do you think he will?
No.
I think he will at Sutton.
Sutton,
Yeah, Sutton, yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that later. But okay, and long term, who replaces Koscielny? 31 now.
Probably. Are we talking about signings or?
I mean, personally, I think the answer, if we get Mustafi trained up to be a Koscielny and Holding, I think that could do bits for years.
For me, I think we have to think about Callum Chambers here as well.
Yeah.
He's done very well in loan at Middlesbrough, as I've heard, and his passing has been pretty good. It's hard to judge with Middlesbrough being at the bottom of the table. The attacks on them will be relentless compared to us. I say that with no intent of a joke. But I think we've got to consider him a little bit. Like, Holding's good, but I think he could do with a loan. I think part of why it will be in Ox suffer so much is that they've only really been at Arsenal. Apart from Ox came from Southampton, but they've never been on loan before in the years they've been here. I think Holding could prosper being on loan.
Yeah, there's been no like working your way up kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you think with Chambers going out for a year, he comes back free and Holding goes? Do you think that would be a fair sort of way to see how that works out?
Yeah, I would say so.
Chambers was great when he first came in as well.
He was. I really liked him.
I remember he really convinced me to buy that yellow Puma kit that first year. He put in a few massive performances. I think there was one when I went to see the Community Shield v City, and he did this thing where he made like 4 tackles in a row like a chain. I just thought that was just the most amazing thing I'd seen. So I had a yellow Chambers kit.
Yeah.
I remember the Besiktas game in general.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. Yeah. I really, really rated him. Where do you think? So was that? Where was the lack of confidence? Where was that fall?
Basically, that Swansea game.
The Swansea game, was it the Montero incident? But But why was he at right back when he had been performing so well at centre back to that point?
Debussy got injured, I believe, the game before that, and I think Chambers got put in.
Surely, yeah.
Dortmund.
Yeah.
Just after.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, I remember we used Bayern as the emergency option.
And now he's first choice.
on Bayern, where do we rate him? Did we get carried away?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get a little bit carried away.
It's a combination of things. Yeah, I think he is really good, but he's not better than some of the right backs around at the minute. I'm not saying that he won't be, and I'm not saying that he's awful. He is definitely top 3 in Premier League. We just have to be cautious and take our time.
Yeah.
He's still terrible in attacks.
Do you think?
He has his moments, but he can't really cross very well.
For a player who was once a winger, you don't see that in him.
No, not of course, barring his speed. And I think we always say about how the English media kill a lot of English players, but Arsenal fans do the exact same, because we went through that austerity period where we had to play so many youth players. It got exciting, and everyone was the next Cesc, or just the next person who could come through. I remember absolutely calling for Fran Merida to play every single game because I loved him so much. So I think we have to really... I was hearing people saying he was top 2 in Europe a couple months ago. And I really think if he were to read that tweet, what would he think? 'Cause I really think it just puts too much pressure on him.
Very pressurized by that, and you probably would start to thinking like twice when he's doing something. Like, should I really make this pass, or should I do that really tempting 40-yard looping cross towards Alexis at the back post?
Yeah, and every mistake you'd make would be like overthought so much to the point where you start doubting yourself.
And you can understand that with a young player. You can. So I really don't see a problem with Bayern, and I think it's definitely right that he remains our right back. We definitely don't need to sign anyone. But
definitely.
we need to calm down on him being the best in England and top 3 in Europe for sure. I'll take another question.
Yeah. That's very fair.
Yeah, I mean, I really rate Bayern. I think he's a great guy. Do you think he'll stay, or do you think that call to Barca will just be too much in a couple of years?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll stay.
I
In
think
my
so.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. Can't wait for this to go viral though when he leaves.
Yeah. It'll be us putting bad juju over him.
Okay, well, one of the questions from Bella Running was, what substitutions would he make during the Bayern game? We kind of gone through that. The Koscielny one was, I mean, an injury. None of us would have thought about putting Theo. And the Giroud one was, I mean, that was coming, wasn't it? Just put on every striker you have if you're down 5-1.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid.
I think the Giroud one was just a last-ditch attempt, hoping.
Well, it was 4-1 at
Probably-
the time, but yeah.
Yeah, probably more to help defend them set pieces and just damage control, as well as hoping to get a goal at the other end. But yeah, that was always going to happen. Giroud was always going to come on.
Hmm. I think if Koscielny didn't get injured, I don't know if El Neni was on the bench, but he might have came on either. Like when we started losing to try to control the match more.
Yeah, I don't know about what sort of network you get in Ireland, but we heard from BT that El Nene was warming up at half time. So I do think that would have been good to see. So I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to see Welbeck on and El Nene on would have probably been my substitutions.
I think the Koscielny injury kind of ruined El Neni coming on in a way.
Yeah.
He was probably going to be the first person to come on, but then Wenger's like, right, I have to switch it up. Oh no, it's now what, 3-1, 4-1? Okay.
Yeah, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
Should we take another one from Declan? One summer signing, of course not Messi, Ronaldo. Who is it?
Go as realistic as possible.
Nope. One summer signing.
One summer signing. For me,
Pretend we don't sell anyone with our squad now. So let's say on the 16th of February
Campbell
signing. Who?
wow.
Who was that, Chris? I missed that.
Oh, I would probably go for Benfica's left back, Grimaldo, or go for Tierney.
Tierney, really? Wow. I have real trouble putting faith in the Scottish leagues.
Thing
Scott-
is, yeah.
Jeff Hendrick. No, I don't know.
Scott.
I don't know. Like, I think we do need another midfielder to just have another option there. But I don't know who's gonna fill the option I have in my head.
I think a left back's probably the most important right now.
For me, go big, go home. Also, possibly with Allegri coming. Alexandro, for me, has been performing superbly this year.
More than one.
So
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'd go Alexandro.
We need more than one, though.
Yeah,
Realistically.
we need more than one. But do we? Like, we actually made quite a few signings this year. And none of them were, like, bad signings.
3 signings.
No, they haven't.
Well, true, 3 signings, but it's more than we usually get.
I think we would need like a maximum of 3 signings. It depends on who we sign. Like a player like Kevin Campbell would probably fix 2 positions right now. And signing a new left back would be like signing a player that can attack and defend, which is pretty much in a job title. Nice one, Captain Obvious, but yeah, I think 2 would probably be brilliant, but 3 would be the best.
So we all agree on Jeff Hendrick then.
Jeff Hendrick, definitely Jeff Hendrick.
You'll have
this
to
one
get a
comes
haircut.
in This comes in from Angelo at AFC Jello. Chris, I'll let you take this one. Ramsey, how does he reach his full potential?
What was that question? Sorry.
Ramsey, how does he reach his full potential?
His problem with Arsenal and his success at Wales points to one thing: coaching. Coleman always makes statements about, Ramsey, he's our best player. This system benefits Ramsey. Arsenal cannot handle Ramsey properly. And the way I see him with Wales is exactly how I want him at Arsenal. And it comes down to coaching. I always believe that any player can be world class with right coaching. And it depends on who we get next and whether they could do that. That is really how Ramsey would reach his full potential.
I mean,
it's coaching.
Yeah,
we've seen the ability from him.
Yeah, exactly.
The ability's there. We've seen that. We've seen that in international matches, international tournaments. I mean, the mythical 13-14 season.
What a season.
Yeah, we know he's there. I still really want to have faith in Ramsey, Chris, because I really think he's our best midfielder. But I don't know if it's going to work at Arsenal. I'd almost love him to go to Barcelona and just see what he can do.
I would probably agree there as well. I wouldn't mind him going right now. Like, for me, it's a win-win situation. I've posted this on Twitter before. If he goes, I can see him do well at a different club with better management. If he stays, I can still see him to a club.
Yeah.
This is probably unrealistic. Like Borussia Dortmund with Tuchel, or some sort of club that has good man management, and he could take maybe even a sideways step just so he can get onto the right ladder.
Still, I mean, what is he, 25, 26 now?
Yeah, he's still young for a midfielder, if you think about it. Like, Vidal didn't become good and, like, really good until... Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, I think that the thing you have to remember with Ramsey is his ability is not a myth. There is full 100% evidence to show how good Ramsey is.
There are plenty of YouTube videos.
There's
just watch his game versus Russia. It's definitely there. And if the blunt answer to the question is right coaching, so either...
Yeah. So, basically, either a new coach at Arsenal that works for Ramsey, or Ramsey leaves. That's how we see Ramsey's full potential at Arsenal.
That is a sad and depressing thing, and I'm slitting my wrists right now.
Jesus Christ.
Your life just revolves around the propaganda so much.
Yeah. That's the sad point of my life.
To coach him, though, would you need to change how the players play around him as well? Like obviously, Wales play differently to us, and that obviously works for him.
Not necessarily, because we saw his best potential in our style of play in 13-14.
Yeah, but that's not how we're playing now, is it?
No, that's true.
What's missing?
For me,
what's missing from the 13-14 now? Is it just that Arteta's been irreplaceable?
He just needs to play with Xhaka more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. This season we started to see it with Xhaka Ramsey, and then one gets injured and the other gets a red card, and I mean, so many people were screaming for that, and justifiably, because it did seem to be working. That game, who was it? Was it Paris? Did they play together?
It was Basel that played together first.
Basel, that was it. Yeah, went away. That was it. Of course, Basel. And
Perez.
Yeah, Perez of course got a hat trick. But they really did seem to know what each other would be doing. And I think Jack has been the only person who, with attributes, has been able to replicate anything of what Arteta offered that year.
I think Xhaka is Arteta, but he's playing in a system from last year. And I would say over the summer, Wenger has to rethink. If he does stay, he has to think, right, maybe I have to go further back in time and maybe try and replicate 13-14. That's probably what will have to happen, because Xhaka is also choking in this setup as well.
That's the best football we played in that for a fairly long period of time, was in that season.
Yeah. Its only downside was the big games when we got thrashed, but in defence of Ramsey, he only started one of them. So
that's all you care about.
Yeah, that was something odd that team was so complete apart from any big game setup.
At the same time, we had Flamini in midfield as well.
It's true. I do remember going to Stoke away with the Flamini Ramsey pivot. It was never destined to succeed.
Midfield 3, wasn't it?
It was, I think, with Santi.
I think what happened is all of our best players got injured apart from Ramsey and maybe Giroud. I think that's what happened. So we were playing pretty much fringe players against Stoke. It was 0-0 draw.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. But that was the season again. We were thinking, you know what, we might win a league here.
Yeah, that was dark times.
We've been through a lot.
So Stoke have put us through a lot. If there's one team who's caused me emotional strife, it's been Stoke.
I would probably have to say
Southampton?
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut
I
out.
love Southampton, but yeah.
Oh, would that be another one of your signings? JWP?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bring out the propaganda.
Deadball specialist.
Yep. Don't make me hurl out my propaganda. I will bring it.
That's the only reason you're here.
How do you play Ward-Prowse and Ramsey? You have to do a midfield 3, wouldn't you?
I wrote an article. Not necessarily I wrote an article on Ward-Prowse. Hint, hint. Go have a look. But he can play in a pivot and a number 10 and a midfield 3. But fair enough, he's not brilliant in a pivot, but he is still decent. And like I said, you can never rule out his dead ball situations. I think he would be just good to have his numbers, just to play. And Wenger is a big fan of him, so I think he must be on the list somewhere. His long list of players he wants.
Scott, I'll aim this one at you, but we'll answer it. This is from, it used to be Finn, a Wobi1 Kenobi.
Yeah.
We've done Who Would You Sign this summer. Can we attract players of the Ozil and Alexis ilk anymore, especially if they in fact leave the club? Or are Arsenal just not an attractive proposition anymore?
That's a depressing question.
It's a really depressing question.
I think if both of them leave, I think it's going to be a lot harder. It'll definitely help. But, if we don't start playing well, I mean, it's not... I don't know, and this is too depressing to think about.
I think it doesn't really matter. As long as we get the right players, not necessarily the high caliber players, they will put in high caliber performances, especially if they enhance our team. It's just a case of if they will leave. And their body language at the minute is worrying, but we see it all the time with Ozil and Alexis. They kind of do have these mood swings, so...
I think we've never not seen that with Alexis. The Alexis one, I think, is very reactionary.
Yeah.
To do with all the podcast talk, the transfer talk. But
on Instagram.
Yeah. But was that the Instagram post about how sad he is? there was that weird Instagram post about, didn't he say the strongest people smile through tears or something?
Was that not to do with his, like, a family member or a friend or something passed away?
I think his, like, cousin died, but you got the Daily Racist saying he was saying how depressed he was at Arsenal. I really think we always see that from Alexis. The Ozil one for me is more worrying because it really feels like he's responded negatively to the criticism. Like he's
Yeah.
He hasn't seen. It seemed like it sort of scared him.
I think, as we all know, he is the teacher's pet at Arsenal. Like, he is definitely one of Wenger's favourites. I think he's probably just more sad about all the abuse that him, like the manager and the whole club as a whole has gotten, and it would take the toll because they probably do read it.
Yeah.
It is like it's hard to miss, especially that the media talk about it all the time as well. He's probably just they aren't winning and they aren't in cups because they probably feel some sort of responsibility for it as well. We are quick to jump at the wrong conclusions, I would say.
Yeah. If you were to take a guess, guys, on do we see them lining up in the new kit next year, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say there would be.
Both of them?
Feel free to stab me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
I'm getting more and more worried. You had all those in-the-know Twitter accounts tweeting how they'd already signed and they're just waiting for a good announcement period. But that just wasn't the case. I still think it's very much up in the air.
Well, bear in mind they have 15 months left on the contracts, I believe.
Yeah, it's not the end of this year. At the end of this year sets the 1-year contract in motion.
Yeah, because Santi's running out, I think, isn't he?
Santi, but they've triggered an extension for Santi.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Mertesacker in his last year as well, or did he just sign a new deal?
They've triggered the extension, which I don't really understand, but...
Yeah.
I think they'll be there next year. It depends how next year goes. Again, for the year after.
It's okay, we've got Perez, we should be fine.
Exactly. It'll be fine.
I think Perez might leave, guys. I think Lucas might leave, honestly.
I think he's like a better Joel Campbell.
Yeah. Oh god, oh my god, we still own Joel Campbell, don't we?
Yeah.
He's someone I've given absolutely no thought to for the last 6 months.
Yeah, that just happens. Like, I just remember talked to him from Portugal, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he plays, but he's not being very good." So I'm like, "Okay, that's my agenda working then."
Yeah, it's translated into Portuguese quite well though. I think we'll just take a couple more. I'm trying to find one that isn't as depressing.
That just says where we're at the moment.
Okay, we'll end on the question, the two-parter. Okay. Is this Arsene's last year? If so, who will be replacing him?
That's a question and a half. Technically two.
There's actually 2 questions, yeah, you're totally right.
For me,
I think he should show whether he will.
This depends on the FA Cup, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, now literally our season comes down to that trophy again. Can you imagine doing this podcast after we lose to Sutton?
Oh god.
We'd just be crying in front of our microphone.
Just an hour of Just like quiet sobbing.
Just where the fuck was Lucas?
Sorry for anyone who's under 18 and does not like swearing. That was a swear word.
Or Lucas Perez, but how can you not like Lucas Perez?
If you don't like Lucas Perez, you can fuck off.
No, Scott's Irish. He's allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just So for me, as probably I think of the three of us the biggest Arsene Wenger fan here, more and more I'm sort of wanting him to leave for both parties, mostly himself. It really personally harms me seeing all the abuse he must wake up to every morning. And I sort of hope that he understands that he puts a lot of people through distress, and he must honestly feel that pain himself. So
He definitely does.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say you can see it in his eyes, but he's never been the most like outwardly chirpy looking character. But I don't think it is his last year. I just don't. I feel what he's given to the club, he certainly wouldn't leave in a snap decision. I feel if it was to be his last year, we would know, honestly.
I don't know.
Depend- Yeah,
Like-
go ahead, Scott.
Like if you see what happened at City when they announced Guardiola, like
Yeah.
so it would be kind of stupid to announce it before the season's over. I think it's, if it is his last year, it's definitely going on in the background.
If we were to collapse now, I feel that lots of people will be reported as being killed.
That's just his podcast.
Yeah, that's the podcast.
I think there's a quote by Ivan Gazidis saying the people who decide on the future of the club are the fans. And first of all, for your chief executive, that is one of the most indecisive, weak comments you could ever make. But it's probably true. There's probably some truth to that. That if it just gets too much for the fans, like, I feel Wenger will understand that, and so will the board.
Yeah, the fans are going to be taken into consideration now. The thing has to be.
Yeah, it's literally like
Yeah, I would say that as well.
that's being generous as well.
We have not worked into this in depth, by the way, if you're asking.
No, not at all. This
Super.
no,
Yeah,
this,
my number guy he took a day off. So.
this topic should and does go on. Okay, so let's say it is second part. Who do you think will, and who would you like to come in?
Obviously, everyone knows about my love for Allegri and how he sets up his team. How they aren't just like one formation; they are fluid and they adapt to the game. There is some other managers out there that I would really like, and I would still go for Tuchel, even though his signings haven't been brilliant. He's done very
I
well.
definitely
What's
would,
to his squad? Yeah.
Another squad that just gets decimated with sales and still expects to be at the top of the game every year. I don't think it's very fair. I think Tuchel is a phenomenal manager.
Yeah, I think he's more of his managerial career is going to be harmed by BVB's endless weakness in the sales department. Oh, Bayern are coming. Well, there you go. Have them. We'll take the money and we'll get some 18-year-old.
Yo, bro, Alexander Isak, next big thing. What you talking about?
Like, yeah. Giovanni Trapattoni? No. I don't know. I don't watch enough of football in other leagues to really know about the managers. I like what I've seen from Allegri. And as he said, he's versatile in tactically anyway. So, yeah, probably him.
I feel the links to Allegri have been sort of too... The links to Allegri have been too warm for them to be nothing. I think there is definitely some contact there.
He might be waiting a year. Wenger might have talked to him and say... This is all skeptical though, and
no, this definitely happened.
I've been in the coma. Deactivated.
So, yeah, I think probably. I mean, would either of you take the gamble on Eddie Howe? Guys? No?
No.
Eddie Howe is an interesting one.
Does it interest you at all, Chris?
Howe, for me, he needs time. I think in 2 to 3 years, depending on Bournemouth, he would be either a phenomenal manager or a bad manager. It's just too early in his career to take on.
Or Brendan Rodgers nearly won the league at Liverpool, but then like Roberto Martinez, ever since he was in form, has gone completely downhill. So it's just in which direction he goes. Like,
the Premier League's a really weird one for managers. It can really sell you to be the absolute star, or
like Moyes.
Yeah, Moyes, another one doing wonders with Sunderland right now.
David Moyes for Arsenal manager 2018.
Can you just imagine how good that play will be by Arsene Wenger? Can you imagine that? He'd be, in 10 years later, how great Arsene Wenger would be looked upon. That would be the last parting gift, and fuck you to the mobs. That would be wonderful. David Moyes, 2K18. So I think with Chris declining in health and the call being a little interrupted with Wi-Fi, I think we'll leave it there.
Very sick.
Thanks for joining me. I would love to do another one of these. See how it goes down. But thanks for joining me. I would like to say thank you especially to a couple people. Iwobi1 Kenobi for the name help. Of course he's not listening to this. He's got bigger things to do. But at Arseblog, Andrew, he helped me a lot with... he just gave me tips and everything. It was really nice of him. If you don't listen to Arseblog, it's kind of the inspiration for this, then what are you doing with your life?
I would suggest a Gooner Ramble as well. They were really good.
Yeah, of course, Gooner Ramble. I haven't had contact with them, but they're another good podcast. So follow Thursday, follow Wednesday. But no, thanks for joining me, guys. Try not to slit your wrists anymore, Chris.
No, I'm going to
who cares?
Instead.
And enjoy college tomorrow, guys.
Thank you.
No
See
problem.
ya.
See ya.
See ya.